Hi, thank you for joining the Amateur Tour 15th Club. So, this is my first golf course review. Is it? No, it's the second. I did Kyalami the other day. So I went to Irene Country Club in Centurion, Pretoria this morning. Very, very chilly morning. Wednesday, the 21st of July. I think that's the date. Got there at about 7 o'clock. I'm sure it was 3 degrees or something like that. Look, it could have been 10, but it felt like -4. That's how terribly cold it was. I think I went to Irene for one reason, and I got something completely different. Irene was the last course I played day before the first lockdown. When we got locked down on the 26th of March, I played Irene on the 25th of March. And I went there as a second option. My friend and I were supposed to play a different course, and for some reason we got there and our booking was not confirmed. We ended up going to Irene, and we were all avoiding Irene. If you know a bit about the courses, that at the time the course had all its greens damaged, so they had temporary greens. So I was reluctant to play. All of us were, but we went to play. I wanted a game, and that was the last day. We didn't know how long we'd be locked up. Hey, we now like 174,000. Where are we? But yeah, but at least we're playing now. It's level 3. So I went back to see how the greens have been recovered, and I'm gonna go to that immediately and finish, and then tell my review. The greens are back to Irene standard. They are beautiful, redone. They are excellent greens, worth every cent you pay in the green fees. But I discovered something about the course that I never paid attention to. And I've played the course a few times, I almost said 1,000,000 times, but let's say enough times that it shook me today that I did not notice there is some special feature about the course. There is danger on the right side of the course almost throughout the course. And I mean almost throughout. And I'm going to go with you hole by hole to demonstrate what I'm talking about. Hole number 1, par 4, plays about 350 meters. Fairly open, right and left. But if you go far right on that hole, you're more in danger than if you went far left. So if you don't go straight. Anyway, hey, we amateurs. We all want to go straight. How many of us do go straight? But if you're going to miss it left. Don't miss it right. And if it's too much right, you could even end up on the driving range side. But hole number 1 is fairly okay. I really think that if you spread the hole, I actually prefer to start there. I don't want to start on number 10. And by the way, I started on number 10 today. So that's fairly okay. Hole number 2, par 5. If you went right, you're going to end up on the driving range, which is not out of bounds. But you don't want to play from the right, because it means you got no shot to the green on your second if you are a long hitter. But even if you're not, to come back onto the fairway, you have to clear a string of trees that line up the right of the fairway on number 2, par 5. So again, you don't want to miss that hole on the right. It gets more forgiving after your second shot if you laid up. From there, the third, and if you miss left or right, you should be okay. If you miss the green, you should be fine. There's only a bunker on the front left of the green. Hole number 3, stroke 1. Very long hole. And I think that's the only thing that makes the stroke 1, by the way. I think the stroke 2 on this course is more difficult than the stroke 1. However, you also don't want to miss hole number 3 on the right. It's got trees lining it almost up to the end of the fairway before you get to the green. And if you end up below those trees, you got absolutely no shot, second shot to the green, if your tee shot went under the trees on hole number 3. And missing the green on the right, on your approach shot, you got a huge bunker. I'm sure that bunker measures anything up to 20 meters across. It's a huge bunker, and it's also almost a pot bunker. You don't want to miss. So if you miss the bunker and go further right past the green, you're probably in somebody's property. So you're out of bounds. You don't want to miss right. It does not necessarily mean if you missed, especially your tee shot, if you missed it too far left on number 3, it does not necessarily mean that you're cool. But I still say that try to stay left on that hole. Besides, the hole on its own in its layout falls left to right. So you want to play it slightly left, and it will roll back onto the fairway to the right on a good day, on a winter's day with even more distance. Hole number 4, par 3, stroke 7, playing off 177 meters today. That's normally the distance between 177 and maybe 190 if they put it at the back. Play straight. Left, don't go too far left, you can still be alive. Go right, you're in somebody's property. There is a fence, there's out of bounds to the right. So again, we don't miss right there. Hole number 5, par 4. Something special about that hole for me. I found that, again, let's get to the point of the review. Don't miss it right. Bush of trees on the right, and if it's far right, again, you could go out of bounds. It's not very likely to go out of bounds. The tee box always points you to the fairway, which is fairly away from the right. But we amateurs, we push, we slice, you can go to the right. You are unlikely to be out of bounds, but if you go right, you're going to be under the trees, and it's not fun. The funny thing about this hole is that I tell people it's got bunkers to the end of the little dog leg at the end of the fairway, so bunkers on the left. When you hit long, we tend to think I can reach those bunkers, so we try to avoid them, try to play middle, or even try to play in a draw. And when the draw doesn't come in, that's when you are dicing with the right. That doesn't look good. If you try to play a fade and the fade doesn't come in, the left can look very ugly. They have cut the grass fairly low, but trust me, that grass, you don't want to go in there. To find the ball, in fact, no, the ball has to find you there. You don't find the ball there. It has to jump at you to say, I'm here, play me. But if you go look for your ball there, good luck. I mean, it's almost impossible. That rough, it may look low, but it's tough to find the ball. Gets worse, I think, in the winter because it's brown. So it's not easy to spot the ball. When it's green, at least you can spot a white ball. Easy. For those of us who play white balls, with respect to everybody else who plays a different color ball. Hole number 6, a bit of relief. You can miss it right on hole number 6. In fact, don't miss it left on hole number 6. Left is ugly. You don't want it there. It's got that rough I spoke about previous on hole number 5. Stay away from it. Stay in middle of the fairway, which has bunkers almost in the middle of the fairway. I would say middle left of the fairway. Stay right, even if you push it to the right and the rough, you may still get away with a shot to be on for 2. The pulpit, hole number 7, par 3. It's called the pulpit. It's the signature hole of the course. Par 3, very short. If it plays long, it plays 130 meters, normally around 120 or so. Don't miss it right. Do I have to tell about hole number 8? Don't miss it right. Hole number 8, par 4. Short par 4. Amazing, amazing, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful hole. Par 4. I mean, I take a 7-9. Today I took a 7-9 because it was not playing long. Normally from its normal tee box, I would take a 6-iron and then approach with a pitching wedge. Sometimes a gap wedge depending on the wind and other factors. But the entire right side of that fairway is bush, which is followed by a stream of water. So you miss it right, it's your obituary. We're going to have to write long stuff about your scorecard. It's dead. Hole number 9, par 5, a bit of a reprieve. You can push right. The out of bounds is a bit far. So you have to have hit a very, very dark shot to go out of bounds on that hole. You can spray left, which approaches hole number 1 if you did that. Right is not too bad. If you play straight, you're good, but it's covered by a lot of traps in front of it. There are about 4 bunkers in front that you need to clear. Once you clear them, by the way, that hole is reachable for 2 for a par 5. It's the easiest par 5 around, one of the easiest at least around. Then we turn. Hole number 10, where I started today, and I have fond memories about how I always start on that hole. And if I score that hole well, I tend to score the course very well. I'm not going to tell you how I scored it. That's not the point of the review. But hole number 10, from the tee box, the right is an estate. There are houses right from where you tee off, right through, and you've seen some of the pictures that are rolling as I speak now. It's all those homes, people's homes. I'm not going to mention the partner I played with today by name, but I think he woke up the neighbors with his tee shot because it went straight into those properties. All we were waiting for was the noise hitting the windows or the roof or something. And until we finished the hole, we were grateful that nobody came out in their nighties or pajamas to ask us what we did to their property. So you miss right on that hole, it's amen. Forget about it. I also don't understand why we miss right. Yes, it looks like there's a tiger line to play over the trees that line the right side of the fairway. But you know, even for a big hitter, if you went straight to the trees that line the left of the fairway, it's so far away, you leave yourself a proper shot. I don't understand why we want to play this tiger line that can destroy you. Hole number 11, par 4. You can go right. The out of bounds is a bit far. But again, when you go to that right, the rough is horrible. It's just merciless. It's not a nice place to go to. Yes, if you are a big hitter and you pull it left, you could end up in the properties on the left, but 9 out of 10 times you are likely to hit a wall. There is a bit of a wall there. You could hit a wall and come back, or you could be against the wall and have to take a drop. I still say it's safer to miss it on the left than to miss it on the right. And the same story happens on number 12. Beautiful hole number 12, next to a farm on the right. You go out of bounds on the right. You end up in the farms, and you know, a cow could eat your ball. Do they eat balls? I'm not sure. But you don't want to go there. You don't want to go left too much either, because there's lots of trees on the left, and you could also go out of bounds on the left. But there is enough fairway to go straight. You do want to turn it a little bit right to left if you're a big hitter, because if you go too straight, you could be trapped in the bunker on the dog leg, on the little dog leg at the end of the right of the fairway, or the right hand of the fairway, yeah. And then followed by par 3, number 4. Is it? No. I'm playing on the other side now. Number 13. Number 13, no, it's open. That's a forgiving par 3. You miss it left or right, you're okay. It's just a bit long. Don't miss it too long though. You go out of bounds if you over club, and there's no reason for you to over club, except if you're too scared of the bunker that protects the green in the front of the green. But there is absolutely no reason to do so. It's a scoring par 3. It's forgiving. It allows you to do stuff. Then the stroke 2 going down. That's a mother. I mean, that out of bounds on the right is with you from the minute you tee off. And in fact, that's the best side to start, because if you can get a draw and catch it very well, your ball springs and runs, it leaves you below 200 to the hole, because it's a long hole, but the right is dead. If you don't come back with a draw there, you stay right, another cow down is going to trap your ball there and you're dead. You'd rather pull it left. If you pulled it left, you've got no second shot to the green, but you can lay up and go in for 3 and rescue the hole. The problem with out of bounds is that you've already lost 2 shots by the time you play your third. So tricky hole. I've always found it better to play it off a cut, a soft cut if you can play it. But like everybody else, the cut does not always come in, so you could fluff it and things can go wrong. But I hardly ever try a draw for a right-hander on that hole. I think it's a very special hole. A hole that's difficult from start to finish, because by the way, even after a good tee shot, there's a big lake in front of the green. So if you miss the green to the left, you're in the lake. The right remains out of bounds until you finish that hole. So your second shot has to be, in my view, more accurate than your tee shot. So stroke 2, not necessarily very easy. Okay, then let's go to hole number 15. The shortest par 4 on the course, even shorter now because they're fixing the tee box that had been damaged by the floods late last year. So it's playing up front. I think it plays 230 meters, thereabouts. But all of the right is a stream running through it, so don't miss it right. Can go a bit left, it may just affect your approach shot, but at 230, it actually should be reachable if you hit a decent shot. Stay straight or slide left. That hole is good for you. You like it to score. Then hole number 3, hole number 16, par 3. Very short. I think that thing plays about, 120 meters? I've played it playing about 110 before. Today it was playing 120. Very interesting green that looks like an island green, but it's more the design. You can't miss it up front, there's nothing. You can miss it at the back, there's nothing. You can miss it to the left, there's nothing. But, yes, you guessed it right. Don't miss it right. You miss it right, you're in the stream. The very same stream that you came up from number 15, playing that short par 4. Don't miss that par 3 on the right. Most players do that. They miss it on the right because they want to play a draw onto the green, because they don't want to miss it left. And I don't understand why you don't want to miss it left. Miss it left, then you can chip back onto the green. Why do you want to start right? If your draw doesn't come in, I've got bad news for you, so don't miss it right. Hole number 17, par 5. Another forgiving hole. You can miss it right or left. Here's the trick though about missing it right. On the right, there is a cut path that runs through the course. If your ball hits the cut path, anything can happen. A ball that hits the cut path can spring anywhere and you may not even locate it again. 2, the right is full of trees and that rough that you don't like it, Irene. So you may still think you're safe, but you may not find your ball, especially now that you have 3 minutes only to find your ball. And if I've got my money on you, I don't think I'm going to help you very much to look for your ball because I want to take your money. No, I'm kidding. I'll still help you, but finding the ball is tough. So frankly, I think you should not miss that hole on the right anyway. There's enough room, even slightly to the left of the fairway. Yes, it's a bit tight. It also has another stream on the left, but I think there is enough fairway for you to stay left enough. And then hole number 18, par 4, the finishing hole. What am I going to say? Don't miss it right. Throughout the right is the other facilities of the club. It's called a club because it's more than golf. So on the right, there's tennis courts, there's bowling. I don't know what they call it, bowling lawns, bowling courts. I don't know where they play in the bowling, whatever, surface where they play. So throughout the right, you go out of bounds. Nobody wants to go left because it looks very, very dirty on the left. But I've pulled shots to the left and I have found my ball 99% of the time. You all, like any other time, guys, we want to find the fairway. So you want to find the fairway. But if you're gonna miss it, I'm happy to bet for you. Please miss it left. You are safe if you miss it left, and it opens up the green a bit more for you when you find the ball. The trees on the left, you are actually likely to pass them with a proper tee shot and leave yourself a decent wedge shot in for your second. But do not miss it right. So having said that, it is a right feeling to play that course. It is not one of the most difficult courses. Even with my index, I find that it gives me a lower handicap than when I play other courses. So it clearly tells you it's not a difficult course. But it's a thinking player's course. You think, you realize what you're dealing with there, you take your punishment much quickly, but your setup must always say, and your execution, I am not going to bail out right, because 9 out of 10 times you are dead on the right. You are dead right. Left is right, right is wrong. That's Irene for you. Thank you for watching. Remember, I'd like you to do the same. I'd like to tee off, experience and share. This platform is for all of us. You have to go on the timeline, tell us a story about where you played, about a clubhouse. We don't go to clubhouses now. The caddy, you can tell us about the equipment you used. You can tell us about a bunker you hated because you played it 4 times, whatever you want to tell, but share. That's what this platform is all about. The amateur tour continues. I love this game.